I'm a graphic designer, and in my last video, I designed Minecraft mobs to look realistic, and you guys absolutely loved it. So much so that I am now back today to do the exact same thing, but with Minecraft bosses. And with that being said, I think it's time to start off with a classic, the Warden. The thing about the Warden is that he's very blocky, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a different approach than what I did compared to last video, and I'm gonna make them ultra realistic. So I got this little wireframe from Envato Elements that I think will serve us well. It already has like a defined shape of what the Warden would essentially look like. So for starters, I want to focus on the chest, because if you look at the Warden, he actually has a chest and you can't really tell what's inside it, but believe it or not, it's actually skulls. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this rib cage in that I found from Envato as well, and just kind of set it right here and maybe warp it into place a little bit. So I also got some coral here for the sides of his head that I think will work out pretty good. I think that we just need to address the elephant in the room, the fact that these horns are just not needed. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. Let's go ahead and change his color to the actual turquoise that is used. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and do the chest, because looking at the chest is just kind of irking me out a little bit. We can just go ahead and flip it, and then later on we will adjust it to look even better. Next up, obviously I went ahead and mentioned that we need skulls, so I got some skulls, baby. And just like that, we've got some cracked bones, and we can tell where our skeletons are coming from. From here, I'm gonna go ahead and make the head a little bit more realistic, because right now it's super skinny and the Warden does not have a skinny head. That looks about right. If you guys look at the mouth of the Warden, it's very round, very circular, and honestly is very skinny. So I was trying to figure out what I would use for that, and I kind of came to the conclusion that I would use a Sonic ring. And I know you guys are probably like, what is this guy cooking? Just watch. We'll let that slide for now. I'm going to go ahead and start by color grading our bones and making sure that they are the right color, so to speak. So starting out, I'm going to go ahead and paint where the eyes are going to light up with the skulls. Now from here, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the levels off of the head and just kind of get rid of whatever these eyes are, because if you guys notice, the Warden does not have any eyeballs. And now we really want to make this glow, especially since we kind of need that brightness to see what's going on. So first we're going to add a little bit of a haze glow on top of these, kind of give them that glowing vibe. And now here comes the fun part. We have to blend these into the chest, and the reason for that is because we really don't want them to feel like they don't belong, so to speak. So I'm just going to go ahead and take like a textured brush, and I'm just going to go around the edge of these skulls and make it look like they're imprinted into his skin. Now it looks like the skeletons are kind of coming out of his chest, which is super badass looking. For now, let's go ahead and detail the rib cage to make sure it looks like it's actually going into the Warden itself. So first I'm going to add some shading on the bone stems. That way it kind of looks like it's coming out of his body rather than just floating above it. Since these skulls are going to be lighting up, we really need the bones to have some light on them. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start on the skeleton glows, just so I know what that color will be. It may look a little scuffed at first, but it'll look a little bit better as time goes on, especially when we go back and do a little bit of refining like we're doing right now. Awesome, that looks fantastic. The mouth is going to be a little bit tricky because we kind of need the glow from the coral, so why don't we actually add the coral real quick? The glows here are going to be super sick, especially since it's already pretty bright. Really solid. Now we know what we need to do for the mouth, which is going to help a ton. And obviously we need to change the mouth color, because the Warden's mouth color is kind of like this bluish, dark, eerie color. We have to get rid of the mouth completely, and we have to paint it with something dark. That is horrifying. Really. Something I'm also noticing about the Warden is that he has bones in his arms. So I'm actually going to take that same rib cage that we just used for the chest, and I'm going to create these little arm canals right here on his arm. Now that I'm looking at this, something else we can do that is also pretty cool is we can add some of this glow behind the bones here. Now we can go ahead and add our background. I think our perfect background is the Warden's habitat. And now the best part about it is we can paint all of that light right here on our scene. That is the Warden. I honestly love how it came out. I think that it's a for sure unique take on something that is super realistic and also kind of weird looking. I think that a lot of the image is very blown out, but I think that it kind of adds to the ominous feel of the Warden being so mysterious. I'm pretty impressed with this one. Let's go ahead and get into our next boss. By the way, if you guys are enjoying challenge videos like this, why not join my Discord? We host tons of competitions, tons of events, and there's a lot of channels for you to engage in to make you a better creative, better marketer, and a lot more. Plus, I'm in there almost every day, so come say hi. Now moving on, we're gonna do the Wither. The funny thing about the Wither is that it is primarily just built out of skeletons, so I think we can make a pretty freaky looking piece with just skeleton models. This torso can be pretty freaky looking. I'm just gonna kind of do like a front hand view of of the Wither looking at you. Next up, I want to go ahead and take one of these heads and just completely rip it off. The thing about the Wither is that he has 3 heads. That's not creepy at all. It's a good thing I got 3 different heads from 3 different angles here. Okay, so now we need a way to connect these 3 heads all together. As you can see, there's kind of like a plank right here. I think first things first is I'm going to take one of these arms and I'm going to create the tail. Oh, I think I know exactly what we can connect our heads with. Because as you can see with like this bone look right here, there's these little stumps that the heads can fit on. It all needs to look connected at the end of the day anyway. I think we have a really good base going. I think what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna get a storm background, because whether or not you're scared of the Wither or not, I would imagine it to appear in a stormy background, like a stormy sky. So now it's time to color it. And now if you look at the Wither, you can see that there is a lot of glow around the eyes and the mouth. So what do you think our next job is going to be? You guessed it, making those kind of potholes white. Okay, so our Thunder Sky, you guys know the drill. We're just going to add levels. Something I think will look badass here is a little light ray on the eyes. The reason why I bring that up is because assuming that we are obviously high up in the sky, there's a lot of clouds, and we can kind of make the viewer think that there is a ton of fog going around. And now we can start experimenting with some pretty fun lighting stuff. And we can also add some killer lightning right behind the Wither to really sell the effect. And from here, just kind of weave in and out the lightning through its bones and all sorts of cool stuff. This one came out pretty interesting. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of how it came out because of the borrowed time, but I have to say it still came out pretty accurate to what the actual Wither looks like. I think I probably could have worked on the background a little bit, but I'm really eager to get into this last boss. Which boss do you think is the hardest to defeat in Minecraft? Let me know down below in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. Moving on to our final boss, we've got the Ender Dragon. I really could not complete this video without tackling an absolute classic. First off, we're gonna take in this ginormous image of an actual dragon. So starting off, we have to get that classic silver look that the Ender Dragon has. Now, the thing about the Ender Dragon is the eyes are purple, so let's just cut to the chase right away and kind of make sure that we have that right. And we also have to make sure to paint the gums pink as well. Right now, it may just look like a dragon with lipstick, but trust me, we're gonna go hard. So something I'm actually gonna do here is I'm going to establish the background early, because I can already tell that the Ender Dragon is really gonna shine with glows, and I need to make sure I have that just right. I think the obvious first thing to do here is to kind of make sure that the teeth and the gums look right. I actually have a really good idea to make the teeth glow. Sure, is this gonna take forever? Yes. Will it be worth it? Yes. Having the teeth glow is also going to be like super cool to look at, especially because we'll be able to add lighting and added back detail onto the face. Perfect. Now that we've got that glow going, I have this idea with the spikes. Now, there is so many of them, but I really do think it'd be worth it if we just kind of dialed in and painted a lot of them pink, if not all of them. That is beautiful, because now we could really add some detail to the face by painting some light right under the spikes that are going to be lighting up. I think I want to add more texture to this kind of dragon, because right now it's looking very plain, very bland. That's the type of texture we're looking for. Not the best quality looking dragon, but you know what? We'll take it. Adding some haze lighting on the wings is going to help this out a lot. Now, I'm having a bit of a problem with how this guy is looking, because if you look at the original Ender Dragon, it just doesn't exactly feel like the Ender Dragon. Maybe something we could add is a little bit of fire. That way our dragon doesn't feel so empty. Something pretty cool that I just thought of is, what if I made fire kind of ride up the wings? I feel like our dragon just needs a little bit more. And honestly, really cool thought, but maybe we add a little trail of it on the eyes. I think this might have been just what we were missing, because that looks badass. And just like that, the Ender Dragon is complete. This is the final boss, and to be completely honest with you guys, I love how it came out. I think that we used the fire fantastically, and I think that the spikes on the head, just kind of glowing pink, just gives it such a badass feel. And just like that, we made 3 of the most iconic bosses in Minecraft realistic. I have to say, I actually really enjoyed a lot of the final outcomes that came of this video, and I'm pretty impressed with the over-realistic of things. By the way, which one was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments. Personally, for me, it's got to be the Warden. And if you guys want to see me design mobs to look real, go ahead and watch this video right here. Trust me, you're not going to regret it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.